Hello friends, welcome back, and today we shall take a new class. We shall take geography lesson number 6. It is about industries, manufacturing industries, manufacturing industries. Industry means manufacturing something or producing something. That is the meaning of industry. So there are so many things that we use in our daily life which are manufactured in different companies. So we shall learn about all these companies or all these industries which are manufacturing so many things that we use in our daily life. So we can take lesson number 6, page 65. So let's see the example of a boy. On the occasion of Diwali, Harish went to a market with his friends, with his parents, and they purchased shoes and clothes for him. And his mother purchased utensils, sugar, tea, diyas, that is earthen lamps, and so on. Then Harish observed that the shops in the market were flooded with items for sale. He wondered how so many items could be made in such a large quantities. And his father explained that shoes, clothes, sugar, etc. are manufactured by machines in large industries. Some utensils are manufactured in small industries, while items like diyas are made by individual artisans in household industry. So this boy, when he went to the market, they bought so many things, shoes, clothes, diyas, and so on. And he was surprised. The market, every shop is full of things, and how they make this many things, how long they may take, all that he was wondering. Then his father explained to him that there are so many type of machines are there, big factories are there, things which are made in large quantities. Then small things are there which are made in the small factories. And even like diyas which are used for burning lights, burning lamp, and that is made in at home, the home industry or the small scale industry and so on. So it was an opportunity for him to explain all these things. And I wonder whether you have wondered any time or not, when you go to the market and you see a shop full of things, variety of things, how they are manufactured, where they are manufactured, or who is making, what company is making all these things. Have you ever wondered? So it is a right time for you also to wonder. When we wonder, we begin to search for that answer, then we will get the answer. If you have no quality of wondering, then we will never think about the origin, we will never search for the knowledge, and we will always just remain what we are. So this boy was wondering, therefore he got the answer from his father, and he was able to get satisfied with that answer. So that's just introduction. Let us go in details. So production of goods in large quantities after processing from raw materials to more valuable products is called manufacturing. So first sentence is we can underline, that is the answer of what is manufacturing. So production of goods in large quantities after processing from raw materials is called raw materials to more valuable products is called manufacturing. So from raw materials, things are converted into finished goods which are more valuable. So finished goods is more valuable than the raw materials. Take the example. If you go and buy a cotton from the farmer, we have to pay the price. And with that same cotton, dress is made, cloth is made, and if you go to a textile storeroom and buy the clothes, then the price will be much higher than the price that you have to pay to the farmer for cotton. So the more the work is finished or it is finished goods, it becomes more and more valuable. So the cheapest one will be the raw material. And as it is passing through different stages of formation, the price also will become higher and higher, because a lot of labor is put in, lot of transportation is there. So for all that, the price will be going on increasing. Then, do you know that paper is manufactured from wood, sugar from sugarcane, then iron and steel from iron ore, and aluminium from bauxite, and so on. So we have already studied about different types of minerals and what is made from what and so on. So we know paper is made from wood, then sugar is made from sugarcane, iron and steel is made from iron ore, aluminium is made from bauxite, and so on. We know that already. Then, do you also know that sometimes clothes are manufactured from yarn, which itself is an industrial product? So, some of the clothes that we wear, it is produced from or manufactured from yarn, which itself is an industrial product. So, yarn is a thread. That thread is also made in the machine in the industry, and that one is used again for making clothes. So, the cloth is not directly made from cotton. Cotton, there is a lot of processes there. Cotton is turned into yarn, and yarn is made into cloth. Then they apply a lot of colors and so on. So after a lot of procedures only, it is reaching finally in the shop for selling. Then people employed in the secondary activities manufacture the primary materials into finished goods. So we learned in the previous classes about three types of occupations. The primary sector, secondary sector, and tertiary sector. These are the three types of industries, and this industry is falling in the secondary sector. So people who are working in this secondary sector, they produce a lot of things from the raw materials, and they convert them into finished goods. They make things. Then the workers employed in steel factories, car, breweries, textile industries, bakeries, etc. fall into this category. So all the people who are involved in making things, whether it be in the small bakery making a bread or biscuit, or working in the big industry like making car and so on, they are all working in this secondary industry, because that is all the type of manufacturing. Does not mean whether they are manufacturing heavy things or small things, all are manufacturing. Therefore all these people are included in the secondary industries. Then some people are employed in providing services, and in this chapter we are mainly concerned with manufacturing industries which fall in the secondary sector. So in the secondary sector itself, there may be some people providing services, but we shall not be discussing much about them, but mainly we will be talking about manufacturing. Providing service we will talk later. Then the economic strength of a country is measured by the development of manufacturing industries. So we can underline that. How can we develop, how can we measure the development of a country? So, or the economic strength of a country, it can be measured by seeing how well the industries are developing in that country, or the industries are increasing or not. If they remain same forever, today earlier there was 10 factories are there, after 10 years again there is 10 factories, the same 10 factories, again after 10 years also the same 10 factories are remaining, then there is no economic growth is there, it is just remaining the same stagnant. But if it is increasing, 10 is becoming 15, 15 is 20, 25, 30, if it is going up and better and modernized industries are coming up, then we can really say our economy is becoming strong and so on. So that is just the introduction. Now let us see what is the importance of manufacturing. We said manufacturing is, so many people are involved in that manufacturing, and what is the importance? Let's see that. The importance of manufacturing. So manufacturing sector is considered the backbone of development in general and economic development in particular. Mainly the reason is. So you can underline that also. What is considered? Which sector is considered as the dash or the backbone of the development in general? So manufacturing sector is considered as the backbone of the development. If there is no manufacturing of items, we'll have to buy everything from others, and our economy will not grow at all. There will be no development in our country. And economic development in particular. So manufacturing is also the backbone of economic development, we can say in particular. So in general, it is the development of the country, and in particular we can say it is a backbone of economic development as well. Then why we say it is a backbone of development or economic development? The first reason is manufacturing industries not only help in modernizing agriculture, which forms the backbone of our economy, they also reduce the heavy dependence of people on agricultural income by providing them jobs in secondary and tertiary sectors. So, what is the importance of manufacturing? Manufacturing industries not only help in modernizing agriculture. So, we know agriculture is one of the major occupations in our country, the primary sector, and so many people are working, and very often they work for the whole year, and the result that they get is very little because they use the old methods. They still plow the field with bullock plows, or with the bull, or with other animals, and so it takes such a long time and the production is less. But if they start using the modern machines like tractor and so, the work can be completed within no time, and the fruit also will be more. They can use fertilizers, or they can use other pesticides and so on. So all these things are manufactured, and so that the agriculture can be developed. And they also reduce heavy dependence of people on agricultural income by providing them jobs in secondary and tertiary sectors. So when these machines are inducted into this primary sector, then we need less workers in the agriculture sector. So at present we know around 64% of the Indian people are working in the agriculture sector, but the result that we get, the production that they make is very little. Therefore, we can reduce the number of workers in the agriculture sector, then send those extra people to work in secondary sector or tertiary sector, and make the make the machines do the most of the work in the farms. So that way manufacturing is important. They will be making all these things what is necessary for the farming, like tractor, harvesting machine, all that. Then the second reason why manufacturing is important is industrial development is a precondition for eradication of unemployment and poverty from our country. This was the main philosophy behind public sector industries and joint sector ventures in India. And it was also aimed at bringing down regional disparities by establishing industries in tribal and backward areas. So another importance is, what is it? It is a precondition for eradication of unemployment and poverty from our country. So if this manufacturing sector does not improve, then a number of people will not have job in our country. So quite many people are employed in the factories, in the industries and so on. So manufacturing is important in order to provide job opportunity for our people. Then this was the main philosophy behind public sector industries and joint sector ventures in India. So in India, we know some of the industries are owned by the private people, that is private sector, and some of them are owned by the government, that is called public sector industries. Then in some places, both government and private work together, cooperate together, and they start industries, that is called joint sector industries. Both public and private join together and start the industries, that is called joint sector industries. Then it was also aimed at bringing down regional disparities by establishing industries in tribal and backward areas. And we know where there is an industry, where there is a factory, people around there, people nearby there, they get job, because if it is a big industry, lot of people are required to do the work there, and therefore they need lot of people to do work there, and more people come and settle down there, and more shops are open, other facilities like power supply, water supply, all these things are made possible. Therefore the development takes place where there is industry, where there is a factory, and so on. That's why government is trying to spread this factory or industry into interior places. Instead of starting in town, government is planning to start it or establish it in interior places or in the rural areas, so that the development will take place there. Otherwise the development will be concentrated only on town and the urban cities. So government wants to spread the development, make this job opportunity possible for the rural people as well. That's why government is intending to open the industries, the factories, and so on, even in the rural areas. Then another reason why manufacturing is important is export of manufactured goods expands trade and commerce and brings in much needed foreign exchange. So when we manufacture things more than what we need, what will we do? We can export it to other countries, we can sell it to other countries. In that way we will get a lot of foreign exchange. When we sell it to foreign country, they are not paying in Indian rupee, they will pay in dollars. So that will help us to get foreign exchange, the foreign money that is very much needed for us, so that money can be used for buying things from other countries again. So if you don't have this foreign exchange, if you don't have this foreign money, what we have to do? Then we have to go to the exchange, we have to pay Indian money and buy their dollars. Then we have to pay money for exchange. So that way we will lose the money. But if we have this foreign money, then directly we can go and buy them. We don't need to exchange again. So that foreign exchange is very important for us. We can save money when we do the importing. Then another reason why manufacturing is important is countries that transform their raw materials into a wide variety of furnished goods of higher value are prosperous. So people or countries that transform their raw materials into a wide variety of finished goods, they can become prosperous. So suppose we have a lot of raw materials, but we don't have the facility to do the industry there or make it a finished goods, then what we have to do? We have to sell it to other countries, the raw material that we have, and they will turn it into finished goods there, and they will bring back again and sell it in our country. So we will have to pay double money and buy it. Suppose in India itself we have industry, then we can make use of our raw materials and convert them into finished goods. Then our country will be prosperous. Instead of we going and buying things from other country, they will come and buy from our country. So we will get more profit, economic profit, and our country will be developing faster. Then India's prosperity lies in increasing and diversifying its manufacturing industries as quickly as possible. So there is one option before India. If you want to be prosperous, what we have to do? We have to increase and diversify. Diverse means make in different areas. Just concentrating in one industry alone, diversify the concentration. Try to make as many as possible the industries, the factories, according to the availability of raw materials. Then we can say our country will be growing faster, developing faster, and that will be beneficial for every person, not only just for those who are working there, but the entire country will start developing, or the income, or we can say the GDP of the country will be growing higher and higher. So these are the reasons, 4 reasons why we say industry is, or manufacturing industry is important. Then agriculture and industry are not exclusive of each other. So we cannot say agriculture. Agriculture means primary sector and industry means secondary sector. So the primary sector and the secondary sector, we cannot say they are completely different or excluded from each other. We said in the previous class that the secondary sector or the manufacturing sector, they completely depend on this primary sector, because most of the raw materials are coming from the primary sector, including all this coming from the farms, from the mines, all that is coming from the primary sector, and that becomes the raw material for the industries to manufacture diverse things. So they move hand in hand, they work hand in hand. And for instance, the agro industries in India have given a major boost to agriculture by raising its productivity. So the agro industries in India, agro industry means the industry that produce agro things or agricultural things. So that have given a boost to agriculture. We said early that making different types of machines like tractor, tiller, all those things, that is agro based industry. They are making things for agriculture. So because of that, we can say the agriculture has improved its production. It has benefited a lot and able to improve the production. So what are the things they make? They depend on the latter for raw materials and sell their products such as irrigation pumps. Irrigation pump means water pump, then fertilizers, insecticides, pesticides, plastic and PVC pipes, then machines and tools, etc. to the farmers. So these factories, the agro-based industries, they take the raw material from the farmers or from the agriculture sector, then provide them back something else, something that is finished goods, like the different fertilizers, pesticides, the engines, the machines, the water pumps, all these things that is manufactured and it is given back to the agriculture sector again, so that they can use this one and improve their production. They can produce better agricultural things. Thus, development and competitiveness of manufacturing industry has not only assisted agriculturists in increasing their product, but also made the production process very efficient. So that's why we say that they are working hand in hand. So agriculture is providing raw materials to the agro-based industries, and in turn they are providing machines in order to improve the agriculture production by the farmers. So they help each other and they go hand in hand. And in the present day world of globalization, our industry needs to be more efficient and competitive. And self-sufficiency alone is not enough. Our manufactured goods must be at par in quality with those of the international market. Only then will be able to compete in the international market. So if you want to compete in the international market, what we need to do? We need to make good things, quality things. If you go on making duplicate things, India is very famous for making duplicate things. You buy something which is having very brand name, but after a few days or few months it is getting spoiled. So the things are made duplicate in order to make more money. The customers are cheated. So in India people may tolerate this, but if you sell these things to abroad, then it is very risky. Those people who are cheated, they will never come and buy again because the trust is lost. So it is the responsibility of the manufacturing industries not only just produce sufficient things and distribute everywhere, but to produce quality things. That's very important. Quality is very important. So the machines, the other products that are made, manufactured, even if it is a food item, we need to make sure that it is of best quality. Otherwise people will buy only once and they will never buy again a second time. So that is what one of the things that the industry need to take care. Then let us see what is the contribution of the industry. So the contribution of industry to the national income or national economy, that is the GDP. So over the last 2 decades, the share of manufacturing sector has stagnated at 17% of GDP out of a total of 27% for the industry, which includes 10% for mining, quarrying, electricity and gas. So for the last 2 decades means last 20 years, what has happened? The share of manufacturing sector has stagnated at 17% of GDP. So if you calculate the performance of industry last 20 years, you can see the total of the GDP of the country. Out of that, only just 17% is coming from this manufacturing industry. So out of a total of 27%, the industry which includes 10% for mining, quarrying, electricity and gas. So altogether it is giving 27%, but 10% is coming from, we can say it is coming from other mining, quarrying, electricity or gas and so on. So production of other things, that is actually belonging to the primary sector. So altogether we can say it is just 27 and it is stagnant, it is not growing, it is just remaining like that. So it is a big concern for us that why our manufacturing industry is not growing faster. And this is much lower in comparison to some East Asian economies where it is 25 to 35%. So some of the other Asian countries, especially in the East Asian countries, their growth or their contribution of this manufacturing to the national economy is 25 to 35%, and ours is just 17. So it is very stagnant ours. And the trend of growth rate in manufacturing over the last decade has been around 7% per annum. So if you take the last 10 years, we can see the growth is there per annum, per year, annual growth is 7%. The desired growth rate over the next decade is 12%. So the government is aiming at that by the next 10 years, that growth percentage from 7 we want to make it 12%. That means we have to work hard and increase the percentage by 5 more. Then since 2003, manufacturing is once again growing at the rate of 9 to 10% per annum. So from 2003 onwards, if you observe the growth, we can see the growth is annually between 9 to 10%. And with appropriate policy interventions by the government and renewed efforts by the industry to improve productivity, economists predict that manufacturing can achieve its target over the next decade. So the people predict, what are they predicting? So with appropriate policy interventions. So who is making the policy? It is the government who makes the policy. So government has to make appropriate policy. Very often the politicians receive bribe from different industries and they make the policies that are suitable for them, not for the nation. So if they make very honestly the suitable policy that will help the growth of industry, then together with the renewed efforts by the industry, so the government's duty is to make proper policy which will help the growth of industry, and also there should be a renewed effort by the industry. The company also has to take, or the factory department also have to take proper efforts in order to improve their production. Then we can achieve the target, we will be able to make it. So everyone needs to work together. Everyone needs come together, work together and plan together. Then it will be achievable, the target. Then the National Manufacturing Competitiveness Council has been set up with this objective. So we said if the government is able to make proper policies, we can achieve. So in order to make that proper policy or to find out what is the proper policy that is required, government has established a council that is called NMCC, National Manufacturing Competitiveness Council. So government has made this council, and the members will go around and see what is the requirement, what policy requirement is needed. Accordingly, they will come and give a report to the government, and government will make the proper decision, the proper policy. That is how we need to work together. Then we will certainly improve. And by appointing this committee, we can say government has moved in the right direction, and now it depends on this committee to make proper study and make the proper suggestions to the government, and the government has to listen to them and make the proper policy so that the manufacturing industry will continue to grow, continue to contribute more to the national economy. So as for today, we shall wind it up, and we will continue again in the next class, and we will see where the industries are set up, or how the location is selected in order to set up the industry and so on. So as for today, we will stop, and we will meet you